welcome to the new podcast, episode number 43. My name is Steven. I am joined, as always, by producer and co-host extraordinaire Kelly. My man, let's get to it. Had UFC go down in San Antone last night. Wasn't the best of cards, but I'll take it. Wasn't bad at all. We had a good amount of announcements coming down the pipe for fight announcements coming up September. September's going to be one hell of a month, Kelly, if I can tell you, man, for fight news and fight matchups. I can't wait.
I'll be camping. Thank you, UFC.
You had all summer, and now you got to screw me on this. That's hilarious. You'd think, you know what I mean, more, it is a good time in European countries for their kind of their spring, you know what I mean? Their fall is kind of what you see in the eastern regions as well. Fall comes early on the East Coast. That's for damn sure, and I think we do see that in September with the start of, the start of the preseasons for the NBA and the NHL. But I digress, folks. Let's get to it. One of the biggest announcements this week is the opening round of the Bellator featherweight tournament has been announced. I am super excited for this card. Bellator knocking this one out of the fucking park. And what I thought was so crazy, Kelly, is how many great 145s Bellator actually has. And let's break it down here, man. This is one hell of a stacked card here. So it's going to be separated. The opening round is going to be separated into two different nights, two different events, both going down in California. Very smart move by Bellator with that. Fight capital, basically, of the world. And on September 7th will be the first one. Will go down with going down in San Jose. We got Sam Sicilia taking on Andre Carvalho. Daniel Strauss making his return to the division, taking on Derek Campos. And Pat Curran makes his Bellator return as well. They re-signed him. Older dude, you know what I mean? He was their champ as well for a while as well, taking on Borsik. And Emmanuel Sanchez as well, almost getting kind of an easier matchup with this Claxton dude. So that's gonna be that's quite a stacked card alone for Bellator to put on. A lot of real great guys that they've made up there, and it's gonna be a tough matchup for anybody there. I would have to take though. Don't listen to me. Bet against me if you want to make money now. That's how you do it. But I think it's gonna be Sam Sicilia beating Carvalho. Strauss versus Campos, that's a tough matchup. I'm going to go Daniel Strauss, though. Curran is definitely going to lose, so take Borsik on that one, and Emmanuel Sanchez 100% all day on that one. He's got to be a heavy favorite on that one. Sam Sicilia just putting on a good show last time. I think that's why he's going to win his. And then going down Saturday, September 28th, at the Forum in Inglewood, California. Inglewood up to no good. We got another stack card where we see the champion, Patricio Pitbull, taking on Juan Archuleta, which could headline a card, any card, UFC or Bellator. And then we see AJ McKee taking on Georgi Karyakian. Again, there's another really big fight, too. That's a great fight. And Darian Caldwell tries to get back in the winning ways, moving up to 145, taking on a very tough dude in Henry Corrales. Henry Corrales kind of showing like, I'm not the guy to be slept on in the division in Bellator. And I think he could be getting a knock from the UFC to come up. I think he may be a bit too small to be at 145 in the UFC. I could see him moving down to 135. But this dude is tough, and the people who have slept on them have ended up asleep. I can tell you, Henry Corrales, really tough dude. And then another great fight, Daniel Wetchel takes on Rogers. Like, man, another stacked card 2-2, and then the dudes who win and move on to the next round of the tournament. Kelly, I cannot wait, because then we're really going to see some really great matchups. The underdog, the unknown, you know what I mean, the black horse, and then the favorite coming through. I think I think Juan Archuleta may beat Pitbull. I think he may beat him. I think if I have to bet on this, just because he's dealing with such a hot hand, they both like to bang, and I think that's going to be Pitbull's undoing, is trying to stand and bang with Juan Archuleta. He is going to be ended up looking at the stage lights with one eye looking up and one eye looking down if he is, because he's going to be knocked the fuck out if he wants to hang with a power puncher like Juan Archuleta. Georgie versus McKee, though, I think that's going to probably be the worst fight of this entire tournament in the beginning, because I think McKee, being such a great wrestler and a boring fighter, against Georgie, who's also a pretty boring fighter too, but more of a stand-up guy, I think it's definitely going to be McKee by a slow decision. Caldwell versus Corellis, though. Oh, man. Oof, that's a tough call. Pardon the pun, but I think I'm going to go Corellis here. Henry Corellis he's just really been putting on a show. He's undefeated. I think he's like 3-fight win streak right now. So put money on Corellis if he's going to be the underdog. I bet you he will. And Wetschel versus Rogers. That's going to be kind of the two kind of lower level dudes. But Daniel Wetschel, he did battle for the belt against Pitbull twice. And his first fight was really, really good, where they both kind of knocked each other out, but both lived, and just Pitbull got the better exchange in the second round of that one. But another tough dude, and I think he's going to take that one as well. I'm super excited for that, going down on the 7th and the 28th. Man, what a fucking good, what a great card.
Does the tournament end in like prize money, or do you get a belt, like a title fight at the end?
I think you get the belt. I think you get the belt, yeah. I think because if Pitbull, because I think what they're hoping is that Pitbull will make it to the end. That's kind of what I don't like. I don't really like having the champion in these tournaments. You know what I mean? I see where they're going with it. They don't want to have their champion sitting on the shelf, or then taking up another contender as well, just to have that match. Because this technically will take easily a year for the conclusion of this tournament, if not a year and a half. That's a lot of dudes. So I could easily see that happening. I see that's the reason why they don't want the championship on the shelf for at least a year and a half. And like I said, to tie up also another number one contender who should be in the tournament of this company. It's tough to say. I don't really like the move. I see why they do it, but I think that is what it is. I think you do win the title if you win the tournament.
I do like that clear path to a title. The UFC doesn't really have that. It's like you could win a number one contender fight and then not get a title belt.
Colby Covington is a perfect example of that. He was the number one contender. Now he's only ranked number 2.
But it's almost like they should give him, like, every single match he fights is a title fight in that tournament. And then if someone takes his title, he's now the guy, So even if you're not fighting him, you know that you're like fighting for a spot to fight him for the belt.
Yeah, exactly. I like that too. Kind of like a gauntlet match a little bit, kind of.
Yeah.
Where the winner goes on.
Yeah, how do you lose a fight and then not lose your belt if it's like, you're weighing in and everything?
I'm pretty sure he does. That's the thing, because we didn't see it, because I was confused by the 170 tournament, because they had a draw in the first round, but since Rory McDonald was the champ, he ended up winning. You know what I mean? And that was a really, really bad fight. But I know, I thought it was weird because the champion has special rules, right? Like where if there's a draw, you should still have the if it's gonna be the main event, you'd have to, I guess that's even the thing too. Like you can't really have a main event because now you've fought 5 rounds and the other dudes in the tournament have fought 3 rounds. You know what I mean? So then you're almost having a championship bout for 3 rounds too. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of legality going on here, Bellator. Scott Coker, send me an email or something like that, man. Fill me in on how this whole damn tournament works here. Because I'm a little bit confused. I am super excited to watch it, but I'm a little bit confused on the rules of this tournament. Please, have your people talk with my people. But I'm excited, nonetheless. Jorge Masvidal now saying basically I'm not getting a title shot and that I want Conor McGregor at UFC 244 in New York for the 165-pound belt. He's really saying he wants it. But Dana White has said, hell no. That's his quote. Hell no. Is this going to happen? Everyone's calling for this 165-pound belt. Dana White saying Conor will not be fighting Jorge Masvidal. He's just saying he's just too big. He's saying Jorge is way too big for him. Conor is, man enough to step up to 172 fight, but against Jorge, not going to happen. Unfortunately, to the sadness, I'm sure, of Jorge Masvidal to get that easy $5 million or whatever it would be. You know what I mean? Right now,
Dana protecting his golden pony.
Basically, and to even say, like, I'm just quoting what he said, that he's saying Jorge is too big for Conor. And wow,
Like, how many people has he let move up to fight people too big?
Yeah,
like GSP fighting Bisbing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, perfect example. That's a huge jump. That's a huge jump.
170 to 185.
Yeah, exactly. And for a dude who has fought 170, against Nate, you know what I mean? Still.
And then you look at DC, who's like 5'10", fighting what, 6'5".
Exactly.
People. Come on, man. Too small.
No, I know. I thought it was a bit of a bullshit too. But Conor won't be getting Khabib or Poirier either. He won't be getting the winner of that matchup too. So kind of where does that put him? You know what I mean? Who do you think, Kelly? I just was racking my brain. Who the hell is he going to fight then? Is it going to be Nate, I guess? You know what I mean? So. Yeah, I guess it'd have to be. You round out the trilogy to get both those guys paid.
So he's 1 inch shorter than DC.
Yeah.
But he can't move up to 170. Wow. Sorry.
What a dodger. Dodging bullets.
Can't
National
Conor.
Irish dodgeball team captain #1, Conor McGregor.
If he puts on 100 pounds, he should be able to fight heavyweights. Man.
Yeah, exactly. He should be. I'm sure if he never lost, he would be talking to him like that, talking about fighting heavyweights. This guy's so psychotic.
Obviously, I'm joking, but you know what
I'm not.
Size definitely doesn't always matter. I think it's been proven time and time again.
Yeah, but who does he fight then? I guess Nate?
Yeah.
I can't even really think of anybody else he would want to fight. You know what I mean? Henry Cejudo?
Uriah Faber, he's back.
Yeah, or maybe I would like to see him fight Dillashaw.
Yeah,
you know, I think Dillashaw would be fun.
But when does Dillashaw get back?
Yeah, he's gonna be gone for a while. Yeah, he's gonna be gone for a while. Yeah,
I think he'd beat Uriah pretty easily, but
yeah, Uriah coming out after his win, calling out he wants a championship belt now. Yeah. A lot of people telling him to be quiet. You know, which I thought
I want the belt. I beat one guy after retiring.
Yeah, exactly. He did beat an undefeated dude, but still, I think he's got to beat at least one or two other guys. You know, he did look good, but this is Uriah Faber we're talking about here. But and hopefully we do see a new Uriah Faber.
Yeah, I don't know, just Cowboy maybe, but if the other guy's too big,
I don't think so. Yeah, if Jorge's too big, then Cowboy's way too big. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. We'll think about it. We'll come up with a better idea next time. I just don't. I did. You know what I mean? I just was like thinking. You know what I mean? What a weird move.
Holloway.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Yeah, that's a good call. That's a really good call. I'm just thinking Nate Diaz is kind of the only one that really makes sense.
It's the only one people really want to see again. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You know, I think get Nate paid for the final time and really can shut him up and then kind of move on from Nate never fighting again. Basically, I can definitely see that him never fighting after this one. He'd be making too much money. Speaking of it, Team Alpha Male, rumor coming down the pipe is gonna be Henry Cejudo will actually be defending the 125-pound belt against none other than Joseph Benavidez. I think it's kind of the only fight that really makes sense. Really odd matchup, though, you know what I mean, with just the fact that it's two very similar wrestlers, two short dudes, very strong wrestlers, both like to bang. So I actually encourage that matchup. It's just a rumor right now, so I don't know how much weight it has behind it. But I would have to ask you, though, Kelly, if that matchup were to go down, Who do you think takes it, Henry Cejudo or Joseph Benavidez?
Tough call, but I'm gonna have to go with Henry.
Yeah.
Just because who hasn't he beat?
Exactly. Exactly. I'm surprised, number one, that they're even still entertaining this division. You know what I mean? Even to have a championship. But I'm actually going to go Joseph Benavidez just because he's got such a hot hand right now. And how Team Alpha Male's kind of got a bit of a resurgence of lifeblood in it. I'm actually going to go Benavidez. You know, just kind of, if he wins, then they can get rid of the belt. Right now, Henry Cejudo is so hot right now. I'm not counting anybody. That's a flip of a coin. If I would have had to pick one hell of an even matchup, it would definitely be those two dudes. If I think the only edge factor would be heart, and that would go tenfold to Henry Cejudo.
Dillashaw was on fire and steroids and couldn't get it done.
That's a good combo. That's a deadly mix.
Yeah, he's Henry's the best right now, man.
Yep.
At that weight.
Best little guy in the world. Best little guy in the world. All right. Great news for the Vancouver card, as previously reported here at the Stephen and Kellyanne New podcast. They need a headliner, and they got one. Donald Cowboy Cerrone will be taking on Justin Gaethje. Like, wow, now that's a battle.
How much are tickets?
I think they're probably pretty pricey. Let's look it up here.
Yeah, because, man, that's like one I'd actually want to go and actually
Yeah,
see
the card's actually
live.
decently stacked, actually.
Because, you know, usually when they give us a fight night, it's like a bunch of no names and maybe like one fight that's, you know, decent. But that's a crazy main event. Like, just to be there live to watch that fight.
Yeah.
Might be worth the money.
Let's see here.
Just checking it out. Man, it takes forever to buy
Inventory
tickets.
is limited.
Checking availability.
Checking availability. Loading up right now. They even make you like. I guess it goes into locals first. All right.
It's like they don't want to.
Poof. So lower bowl is expensive. 300 to 400. Wow, it's pretty pricey.
Yeah, I think I'm out.
Wow. Yeah, the cheapest tickets in the lower bowl would be $355. And that's USD? Why is it giving me US? This can't be correct. That's insane.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's insane.
That's like what, 400 easy Canadian just for a crappy seat?
It looks like the floor isn't even announced. You know, I don't know if they've even really announced tickets left yet. I think that's the problem.
Oh, okay.
I think that's just one of those sites that Super Bowl thing, like a procurement site. Like you can pay for a potential ticket that doesn't even exist is what you're paying for. The price could go up, the price could go down. So what those people do is if you buy a ticket, like, so that's what they do at Super Bowl. People buy the Super Bowl ticket a year in advance, but that ticket doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
But the price, depending on where it is and who, they already know where it's going to be, but depending on what teams are playing, really makes a huge difference on the ticket price. So if the tickets go for too expensive, the seller will just be like, sorry, something happened here. There was an error with your ticket. We don't have it anymore because you bought it for $1,000. Now that ticket's worth $25,000. That was the error. You know what I mean? So that's what I think that website was. That was it redirected me from Ticketmaster. So that's a little bit shady right there. That's a little odd. But that's kind of what this whole thing had been exposed by the Super Bowl, is these different ticket companies that try to buy and sell fake tickets. Like, not fake tickets, but tickets that technically don't exist yet.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to buy and sell. So that's why it's not illegal. You know what I mean? But it should be. It definitely should be. But nonetheless, that's going to be a great banging bout there, Kelly. Who do you think takes that one? Cowboy or Gaethje? What a matchup.
Damn. I don't know, man. I think it goes the whole way. Like, I think it's gonna just be a banger fight the whole time.
I agree. I think if it's just such a clash of great fighting styles, really, where Cerrone is a bit more of the of the Swiss Army knife. Guy's got everything. Very tough, very smart, fight IQ, and he can put it on him too. But is that Gaethje's come at you in your face fighting style gonna work for him or against him? We've seen Cowboy have become a great counterpuncher over the years, but not invincible. That's always the thing about Cowboy Cerrone. He's definitely not invincible. He is a human being, and he can get hurt. And it just, I think either way, we are going to be in for one hell of a show coming down in Vancouver in September.
I think it goes to decision.
Yeah.
I don't know which way that decision
Yeah, I
goes.
think that'd be a safe bet. That would be a safe bet for decision. I'd have to say decision Cowboy. I'm going decision Cowboy. But, man, what a 50-50. That's not a fight to bet on, that's for sure. I guarantee that one's going to be a slight favorite would be Cowboy Cerrone just because of who he is. Slight favorite. Almost even.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. And news coming out of from Extreme Rules last week. Watched Extreme Rules last week. It was actually a very enjoyable card. The product that the WWE has been putting on has been amazing as of late, and I think we all have AEW to thank for that. Giving them that little bit of a fire underneath their ass to put out a better product. And that's what we are seeing here. AEW isn't even that good. It's decent and it's popular, but the product that the WWE is putting out right now is bar none. They're going back to the non-PG era, and was what we're seeing here with the Kanellis kind of talk with her. Kind of not saying that Mike Kanellis is the dad of her unborn child right now and different shit. So she's being promiscuous, with that, and like just not calling him a man and shit like that. That's actually kind of one of the edgier storylines right now, and good for Maria Kanellis. And with Kofi Kingston throwing up the middle finger as of late, and just how they're using Kevin Owens in such a Stone Cold style right now, obviously with the bringing in of Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff. It's really, really proving good. But Kelly, Brock Lesnar is once again the champ, yes! Universal champion. I could not believe it. I have all the things that I thought Brock Lesnar was kind of going to be put to the wayside. Nuh-uh. They bring him back right into the forefront as the champion.
Mr. Penis Tattoo. Veiny penis.
Gigantic penis to the throat.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. That's a deadly move.
That is a deadly move.
So he's a champ. Nice.
Yeah, Universal champ, cashing in the Money in the Bank on Seth Rollins to win after their mixed match challenge. It was amazing, though. I couldn't believe it. And now we see this Monday coming down, going to be the Raw reunion. So WWE not letting their foot off the pedal, coming up in the Raw reunion, kind of like I'm thinking it's going to be exactly like the Raw 25 years episode, 25-year anniversary, where they're taking on Madison Square Garden, the birthplace of WWE, Kelly, and it's going to be just a bunch of old legends. We're going to see Stone Cold. I'll get into it later on the show. But I just wanted to touch base on Brock Lesnar being champ again. I did not see that coming. Brock Lesnar, man, he's just never going to go away. Looking good, though. He's looking good.
He should turn his tattoo into an axe.
It's not a bad idea.
Like a big skull behind
it.
Have like flames. Turn the veins into flames. You know what I
that's
mean?
Not a bad idea, actually. Good call, Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear that, Brock? You got us? All right. We'll expect to see it next time. Much better idea.
Imagine I told him that and he just kills me.
Just with one hand.
With one hand. Just dead.
There was an article that came out earlier, and it was by Wade Barrett. Just how like Brock Lesnar kind of gets like he's almost too much of a celebrity.
Yeah.
Like he can't even go to the gym and work out because people just like he gets like people just fawning over him and shit like that.
Yeah, it's pretty recognizable.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that tattoo, you know,
Huge hairless gorilla
with a massive,
with massive veiny
exactly penis tattoo.
Poor Brock. Not really. He's doing it right.
He's doing all right. Yeah, that's about it for the news. Orna, my God, what a game. Kelly, buckle up, because this is one hell of a Orna one. Still loving the game, man. I'm really getting into the grind now, though. I'm really past level 125. I'm only level 128 now, and it's starting to grind down now, man. Like the levels are getting harder and harder and harder to get now. That's for damn sure. And getting the missions is okay, but I'm at that point now where I'm launched into the next level of dudes. So a bunch of the bosses are way too high. The bosses are level 175 now. I'm seeing I can't even touch them. And the Berserk level 150, I can't touch either. So it's been a real tough go right now. I'm still grinding through, but the coolest part about it, Kelly, is I started a kingdom. And to start a kingdom, you need 100 areas taken over. So right now I have 117 areas I've personally gone to and taken them over. 117.
You're ruthless.
I know. And both of that was on my bike. But yesterday I had to help two buddies move, so I was all over the place, and I was riding passenger seat, riding through a very rural area in Abbotsford, and boom, there was no one there. The only dude that was there was kind of like a I guess he was like a rune knight or something, but that's a trait you have to buy, Kelly, and then he also had a unique skin to it as well, which you have to buy as well. So this guy spent some money on the game. I think that would round up to about $15. You know what I mean? I have not spent a penny on this game. Pennies don't exist up here anymore, but I haven't spent a nickel on this game. And I'm having the time of my life. So I battled this dude a bunch, and he had tons of this rural backwoods, back road farmland. There was this one dude out there, and I battled him, beat him at a bunch of spots, lost barely at a bunch of spots. So that was kind of the fun part about it. Kelly was just battling this guy, losing some, winning some. So I took some of his areas over, but not all of them. And I'm not sure with how big and wide open it is in that farmland out there, how much area this guy owns just driving around in his pickup truck, I'm assuming, listening to country. I can only assume.
He's out there right now with a big veiny penis sword looking for you. I'm gonna cut his head off. I spent $15.
I know. So I got he's just drawn on with a felt marker. I gotta get into my beast mode. Beast mode. Brock Lesnar will take this guy to Suplex City, Abbotsford.
Oh man,
Son of a bitch.
That's cool though.
Yeah, so you start a kingdom, and the kingdoms are super fucking cool too. It's a whole nother part of the game. So now I'm a king. I'm a king in the game, and you start your own thing. So you got your hall and everything. But that was the hardest. Like I said, that was the hardest part. Getting 100 places. I was so happy to get 100 places, man. That was so cool. So you have different things: power, influence, rank, members. I got nobody. You know what I mean? Obviously. Just the hardest part was picking a name. It was really picking a name really for your thing, because it's going to be listed on everything, right? So you can go to war with other kingdoms, which is crazy. If you have to have a certain amount of soldiers in order to go to war, you know what I mean? It just costs you a little bit of money, which money is kind of useless. And then you can do raids on fucking bosses, different dudes. All different names and different things. So, like, how fucking cool is that? I don't know what that costs orange, which is like the tough money in the game. You get it only through missions and battling dudes. Well, I thought, what a fun little thing that is. And just you pick obviously your symbol and the color of your symbol and shit like that. You get money and orange. I'm not sure exactly how much, if you donate it or if other people donate to me, if they're a part of my clan or something. I'm just wowed by it. A really, really cool little thing to have a kingdom. Just different parts of the game, man. Like, it's just, Kelly, I can't say enough about it. But the hard part is obviously the grind of it. Right now, money's kind of become kind of useless right now, just because I've kind of bought and everything. So it's kind of just fun to just kind of collect as much money as I can, I guess, right now. But everything that the game entails, just the detail of it is so much fun, Kelly. The new I got since I've passed 125, I got some new attacks, and I've gotten some new enemies I come up against, which was really, really cool. And I'm finding old enemies too. There's rare enemies you come up against, which is really cool, like a will-o-wisp. I have never seen one ever before. And they're only level 100, so I should have come up against it a long time ago. And just, you could I could see myself getting hit by a car walking down the street playing this game because...
Well, that's not cool.
No, I'm just joking, obviously. I got my head on a swivel. But I'm just saying, because there's so much to do. There's just so much to do in it. You're constantly grinding, constantly fighting cool dudes. But I've always been obsessed with the bosses. The bosses drop the cool gear. They give you the cool shit. And I think that's always what's kind of tickled my fancy with this is the gear you get from the bosses and taking over the areas. I'm just really hyped that I have a kingdom now. And I didn't want to join someone's kingdom. I wanted to start my own. But it would have been kind of cool to join a kingdom just to see how the raids go and that type of thing go. But I'm sure I'll get enough people to join down the road. And we'll see what happens with that. How's Apex coming?
Apex is pretty good. I find that the actual Season 2 pass, now that I really look at it compared to Season 1, it's a lot better.
Nice.
Like, you get way better skins. They actually look good, like, for the Legends, at least. The weapons still are pretty meh. The skins that I have are better already.
Right.
But you get a lot more Apex packs where, like, I found myself just buying packs with, like, the money, or, like, the little Apex coins that I would do.
Right.
Save. Yeah, like almost like every 4 levels or whatever is another Apex pack. The weapons are decent, not great, but like compared to last season, it's like I don't know if they actually like made up for last season or just did it right this season. But the season pass is like worth it now if you like if you play a lot, basically. If you don't play a lot, probably not worth it.
Right.
But for people who play a lot, you can unlock all those skins. They're pretty good.
Nice.
They're like legendary skins, like and all you have to do is play a little bit or grind if you want, but I like the game, so it's not really grinding for me.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. You love it. And what it cost you? $15? You said $13?
I think the coins themselves was like $13.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Because I think the actual season's pass is only 950 coins, but the least amount you can buy is 1,200 or 1,300, something like that. So I just bought that. And I use the rest to buy like more packs.
Nah, that's nothing really. If you think about games these days, to buy a game for $15 with tax, you know what I mean, included. You know what I mean? That's crazy. That's a crazy good game for it's a really well put together first person shooter. And
they keep updating it. And that's the thing. So you're paying for updates as well. Because if no one's putting any money into it, like you can't get it developed. You can't pay for the developers. You can't get the upgrades. So they're constantly updating the game as well, so it like helps them out. So
exactly that too. I like to look at it that way too.
Just supporting the company.
Yeah, no, it's any good wins to talk about? You got any wins or any D-bags you came up against?
I think I win so often now that it's not.
Wow, humble brag.
Humble brag. No, but like. If I could get like 1 or 2 good players with me,
right?
I usually get in the top 2 or 3.
Nice.
And then I'll probably win like every other game.
Oh wow!
Every time I get in the top 2 or 3, I'll win like every other game.
Maybe it's like what you were talking about before about how kind of like the competition is taking a step up. Maybe you're just getting the better end of the stick with that competition, getting paired up with the better dudes.
Yeah.
These days, whereas most of the guys are good now. You're coming up again. You're playing with or against, and I think maybe you're just getting the better end of it on that, which is good. That's kind of what you want to see. You want to be with the good teams. But from all the pictures you sent me, it seems like you are the main MVP of those teams.
Sometimes it usually is that way.
Yeah.
Because I play so much that I know like the guns and how to use them. Like the, like there's some assault rifles that are automatic, but if you just like tap it, it actually works a lot better.
Yeah.
And people don't, understand that if they haven't played for a while and used it that way. But yeah, so like, I don't know. I just know the guns, and I know what I have, and I know when to run away and know when to fight. So if I find like good armor and a good gun, like right away, and I hear footsteps, I'm running towards it because I want to knock down the other team right away so that my team can get the loot. I don't wait, right? And then if my team's fighting, I'll always run towards it because I know that even if I don't have like the best weapons, they're gonna be low anyways, low in health, low in shields, and if I just wait, then they're just gonna revive their team, heal up, and then by the time I get there, I'm fighting a full team with full shields. It's pointless. I'm just gonna die. So it's just like little things that you kind of learn about the game, and the fact that you have to play as a team to win. It's just it gets easier that way.
Yeah, because they're just forcing us to play with these other people. You know what I mean? And then you gotta have to work with it or not have it work at all. Really,
I think if it was solo, I think a lot of people would be hiding for most of the game. So you'd be running into houses, people be shooting you with shotguns and stuff like that.
That's true.
Where if it's team oriented, like more people want to go and find loot and find better loot, and actually kill teams, take their loot.
Yeah, you got a better chance of survival, obviously, even if it's 3-on-3 as opposed to 1-on-1. You got a way much better chance of survival if it's 3-on-3.
But I agree. I think there should be a solo mode because
just to give you the option,
play with other people. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you get frustrated with your teams,
big time. Well, especially like if it's bad team after bad team after bad team, you're gonna want to turn the game off.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's tough.
Which has happened.
Yeah,
to me many times.
exactly right.
It's like I'm just done with these people. Maybe they'll be better later on.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And take a smoke break.
Yeah,
and come back.
I'll wait till the adults come home from work and play with them.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Too funny.
Not that I don't work. I just work very, very early.
Exactly.
So I get home when the kids get home from school during.
This podcast is paying us to live.
Fuck yeah! We're making that water money.
Making water rain. Making water rain.
Making the water rain.
Oh shit. All right, let's do this. Back by popular demand, reviewing the reviews. Come up against a Kelly suggestion last week, going with a car dealership, which I really like. I really like that. You're going to see a little bit of everything with a car dealership. A lot of people with fake reviews. Maybe they got an extra few $1,000 off or giving a 5-star review. Because the one thing I'm seeing with this place is that there's a ton of people with their first review. Look at even the first few, Kelly. All their first review, all 5 stars, and then look at this, all this. It's either these person's second review or their first review, and they're all 5 stars. See again, very weird. You know what I mean? And then you get this, you see the same thing of their first review being negative experience, and you're gonna get that at a used car dealership. This place here. I'm just going to say B Motors. I want to slag on them. You know, maybe I shouldn't. You know what I mean? Yeah. Due to legalities. They have 769 reviews, which is a lot. 4.4 star rating, which is pretty good. Local closest one is like, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. It's tough to. Are these fake reviews? I think they are. I think a lot of these are fake reviews done up by employees. You know what I mean? These sales reps. Probably a lot of time on their hands, and they're all kind of saying weird things too. You know what I mean? They're all kind of saying the same thing too, which I thought was odd. But I did do a little bit of digging through all this bullshit though. That's what's odd about this. You know what I mean? Everything I'm saying. One first review, second review, but one person was particularly psychotic. And it is FA. This is their 4th review. There's another one that's really crazy. This is their 4th review. 2 months ago, 1 star. Do not trust them. There's an exclamation point in the beginning. They care about their profit only, and they do not care about their customers. 3 exclamation points. That's how mad they were. I bought a 2016 car from them, and they promised me to help me with whatever I need. and they did not when I needed them. This is real.
I was stuck in the bathtub.
I know. What an open-ended thing. It's like, hey, hold on, homie. You know what I mean? There's limitations to us helping you whenever you needed it.
My driveway is covered in snow. I need that shit fucking shoveled so I can get out with that car I bought from you.
1 star.
1 star. You motherfuckers.
See what I'm saying though? Like even to like no, they're all gonna say that. You know, they're definitely gonna say, "We'll help you with anything. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
But it's gonna come with a price.
Exactly. We'll help you as long as you pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. They told me they gave me the best rate in the market, but when I went to other deals, I found a better financing rate and prices. They took advantage of my poor knowledge. 2 exclamation points. And there's even a response from the owners too, which is they ain't gonna do shit. It's just they're all the same, copy and paste. We're sorry to hear that you feel like you had a bad experience here. We love to help resolve this if you give our general sales manager a call. Kindest regards. AKA, go fuck yourself.
How many stars does that one get?
Oh, yeah. I gotta give that guy 5 stars for sure, man.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I gotta give him 5 stars for like
being so vague.
I know, exactly. They said they'd help me with everything. Anything. I was indicating that I would appreciate a hand job out back. Never came. Never happened. 1 star review. After subtle hint after subtle hint after subtle hint.
I spent 15 grand on that car.
0 hand job.
0 hand jobs.
Where does he leave it?
Shit.
Right?
Yeah.
I want him to wash my back. Never happened. 1 star.
1 star.
That's what I haven't. I used to read a lot when I used to read reviews a long time ago. I used to read like the crazy people. I mean, that's what we got to dig a little deeper. Like not the crazy people. Sorry, I mean like the people like being funny on purpose. They have nothing to do with the place reviewing it, good nor bad. They're just writing something for comic relief. And I haven't come across much of that yet, but maybe down the road.
My horse broke his leg, and I needed someone to shoot my horse, but I couldn't shoot my horse because I loved it. And they wouldn't come down and shoot my horse.
I even offered them they can keep it for the glue. Still no. 1 star. You just throwing away perfectly good glue over here. Glue wasters, and they don't live up to their promises. 1 star. All right, moving right along here. Yesterday, we went to this dealership. It was my first time going. The sales guy took us. He had no car under 10 grand. Very reluctantly, he showed us a very filthy Jetta that looked like it had just come from a junkyard. As we were leaving, I very briefly looked at the inventory. Talk about not being bothered to sell. I wouldn't waste my time with them. Find another place to shop. Very weird. That's what's even the weirdest thing. Is it your first time going to this dealership or your first time going to a dealership, period? Mm-hmm. Very weird. And hey, that's what happens. Stock is coming and going from these places constantly. That's what a used car dealership is. Newsflash, you fucking idiot. Jeez Louise. Hey, maybe they didn't have something for you. Here's what you do, moron. You say, here's what I'm looking for. Here's my price range. Something comes in, give me a call. You know what I mean? And then they'll even look for you. They'll look around and try to find something for you too. Don't just go in, I don't really know what I want, but you didn't have the answers I wanted. 1 star.
How dare you show me this filthy Jetta?
I know.
1 star.
And especially if you're going like below 10 grand, like to go to a dealership, sometimes, you know what I mean, a bigger one, you want like a low rate car lot if you want one of those. This place sells like new cars too.
Yeah, and the guy's just like, hey man, we don't have anything under 10 grand except for this old ass Jetta.
Yeah.
I'll show it to you if you want. He shows
Yeah,
it to him,
exactly.
he's like, fuck you, show me a
Yeah,
Jetta. It's
1
dirty.
star.
He's like, fuck man.
How dare you not have? They don't want to sell anything, I guess. Nut job. Nut job.
Oh man, these reviews are just
I know.
too much.
Oh, okay. Let's read a 5-star because all these people have got to be fake. This has got to be fake. This person here, SR, 2 reviews only, 5 stars. This is just 2 days ago, Kelly. 2 days. My experience with B is that they were very attentive with the littlest things. ... Service department is awesome. And N in sales is helpful. Like, why do you have all the dots there? Like, that would, when people leave dots to me, that would indicate like sarcasm.
Yeah.
You know, is that what it does to you? So that's why I hate when people misuse the ... Because that's what it comes to mind for me is someone's being sarcastic. But either way, they gave him 5 stars, but attentive to things, and then just to talk about the service department, very, very. But they're talking about the service department, but then give a shout out to a dude in sales. That's what this review seems fake to me. Somebody's sitting around their ass with nothing better to do, can't sell a car, so let's make up some fake reviews to pad our stats here. And here's a response from the owner too. We're happy you enjoyed our experience and glad we were able to deliver. Also very pleased that N was able to help you find exactly what you were looking for. Kindest regards. Very weird. Very weird.
Yeah. That's almost like an ad.
Doesn't it? Yeah, it seems super fake. That's all these 5 stars a lot. There's another 1 star, one review, 5. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Just like super great. Everything was great.
I suggest everyone go here.
Yeah. No, that's pretty weird, yeah.
And then they're giving a shout out to a sales rep, you know what I mean? So when you go in there, you're like, oh, can I talk to this guy, please? I read that he got a really good review. But secretly, he wrote that review.
Either that, it was like, I'll give you a little bit of a discount if you write a review, even though he's not really.
I could see that too.
Fake a discount. It's like, yeah, we weren't really going to go that low, but if you write a review.
Oldest trick in the book. I'd write a review, though, for a discount on a car.
Yeah.
Here's one here. Let's round it out. Let's round it out with this one here. Sitting great on time. Another 1 star. Only 2 reviews. This guy is a little bit psychotic too. 2 reviews, 30 photos. This guy has WT, and he's got no photos of this car dealership. So all 30 photos he posted are for one place. Kelly.
Wow.
Do you need to do 30? You couldn't have settled with like 4? Holy moly. 2 reviews, 1 star. Scammers. From management to salesman. Bought a car, 14.5% interest rate. Used cars sold for more than the price of new. And of course, there's a private financing company to help you get ripped off. If you are a student getting a car, you will write a similar comment when you look at the contracts 2 years later. And if you know cars and honest dealerships, then you probably won't go here anyways. So you kind of you're saying, he's saying he knows cars, but got scammed. They have all the paperwork in front of you.
Yeah.
You're going to sign for, 14.5% on a used car. You obviously probably don't got the best credit rating. No big deal. Not the end of the world. But they still gave you a car. Obviously, it's going to be a private financing company from there. You know what I mean?
And you saw the interest rate when you signed
it. They make you do like an initial on the interest rate. You know what I mean? Just so you're aware of the interest rate. You know what I mean? You could have said no.
Yeah.
Could have said no. But used car with bad credit, that is high interest, but it's not bad. If you're for a used car at high interest from a private lender, not bad rate if you ask me, bud. 1 star for being an idiot. Oh man. Good choice though, Kelly. Great choice. Used car dealership. Took some digging through all that fake shit, but we found some gold. We found some gold with that. Great gold. I think I'm going to go to that car dealership. Oh, shit. Well, with that being said, folks, let's take a brief little break here. We'll be right back after these messages. Waterium. Developed under the Pacific Ocean in a secret laboratory. And then in another high-pressure hyperbaric chamber under the Atlantic Ocean. Finally being cold filtered in a secret filtering process under the Antarctic Ocean. Waterium. Coming to stores January 2020. Waterium. You'll never have water like it.
Waterium. It's a loaf of water.
Prices estimate at $10 million a loaf.
It's too much.
Waterium.
No, wait, that's too much.
That's what it cost.
Don't leave.
That's what it cost.
I need it to be cheaper. Where'd you go, commercial guy?
You can buy a slice then. Comes in slices.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
$500 a slice.
Word.
I'm so sick and tired of drinking water. If there was only another way I could maybe use it in a sandwich form. Good gravy, I never heard of this Waterium stuff. A little bit on the pricey side. Let's try this out. Waterium. Made underneath all the oceans in the world. For some reason. Hence the price. This sandwich tastes real weird. But man, it tastes good just because it's worth it. It was so dang expensive. I love this, actually. Waterium sandwich, you did it again. Thanks, Waterium.
Waterium. Stay hydrated.
And boy, oh boy, am I hydrated from this sandwich, oddly enough. Welcome back, folks. Hope you enjoyed our messages. And go grab yourself a cold, tall glass of water on the house. Tap water, that is. Let's get to some fights. Briefly, though, I didn't touch base on the Orna. When I was always riding my bike playing it around. And I got to tell you this story, Kelly, because it's kind of funny because I really fucked myself over. I was going through an area that was kind of near my place, but I knew it had some steep areas. But, you know, I mean, I can ride many big hills all the time, but I didn't want to really because I'd moved 2 people yesterday, and I was like, you know, I'm just taking an easy bike ride. I really fucked myself over hard. I'm going down a hill, and I'm like, I know there's a turn that I'm coming up that I got to take soon enough, but I must have missed my turn. I keep going, and then next thing you know, I'm down this super steep hill, and I'm like, shit. And I'm right at that point where I'm like, it's going to be a long hill back up, and it's a steep hill down right now. I'm right in the middle. If I go down, hopefully I can use my momentum to get up the next hill and then kind of go up. Or if I'm going back up, it's going to be the same climb either way. So I rolled the dice, went down the hill. Huge mistake because it was one hell of a steep hill getting out from there. Oh, that sucked. But man, I just put in the lowest gear, hobbled my way out of there, and had a beer at the top of the hill for my work. And man, I really felt in my arms after that one. You know, those steep hills where you're almost using your arms a bit more than you are using your legs, just pulling the bike up with you. Man, that was rough. I just had to touch base on that. Riding your bike and playing Orna, nothing better. Let's talk some MMA. Oh, let's talk boxing first. Let's talk some boxing here first. Going down with Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao beating Keith Thurman by split decision last night. I remember that's the funniest thing. That's kind of what I wanted to lead into this, because when I was riding my bike around, I had recorded the UFC. I started at 8, and then I ended up at like 10:30 as when I ended. And I remember riding past a house that had the fights on, and the people were just losing it in the house. It was like a house party, for the Pacquiao fight, and the people are just losing it. It was really, really funny just to see that, riding around, seeing people standing up and bouncing around, and stuff like that. I thought that was really funny. But Manny Pacquiao finding time again, finding a way to turn back the clock, almost stop the clock on his career. Beating Keith Thurman by split decision, especially to get that knockdown in the first round. Dude's 40. You know what I mean? He's on a 3-fight win streak right now. Finding a way to still be very viable, and I'm sure he's still getting a lot of money, and he's getting a lot of money for these dudes too. What a crazy move. Even if it was by split, he won the first and the last, and then a few in between there to get the judge's nod. It's pretty crazy. Good for Manny Pacquiao. Nothing but nice things to say about the dude. Nothing but a super, super, super nice dude. Let's talk some UFC. ESPN 4. Dos Anjos versus Leon Edwards. Going down. Summertime in San Antone. I think that may have had something to do with this card, because look at all the decisions, Kelly. Look at all the decisions. 9 decisions to start off the card in a row. 9. Like, how crazy is that? And then the main event comes with all first round finishes. So kind of weird. I think the heat. I couldn't imagine summertime in Texas.
Yeah,
that's gotta be hot as shit. Doesn't matter how much air conditioning you got in there when you have an arena that's filled with like 18,000 people, and everyone's definitely gonna be pumped up because of these fights. I thought that was a weird booking, but nonetheless, it was actually a pretty good card. I gotta ask you though one thing in regards to one of the fights that came up, Kelly. It was the Jennifer Maia versus Roxanne Modafferi. Jennifer Maia came in overweight, like way overweight, and she ended up winning. In your book, if you come in for a fight overweight and win, does that actually count as a win? You know what I mean?
If they both sign a contract agreeing to the weight change, and then it's just like what do you call it? Like a flex weight?
Yeah.
Then it's still technically.
Oh, it's still technically a win, but I'm just saying, like for rankings
Ranking-wise, it shouldn't count in that division at all.
That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't move up or down from that ranking, because in this instance, Roxanne was ranked number 1, and here she loses to the number 5 ranked girl.
That shouldn't count.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying too. Yeah, I don't think it should count. That's what I was thinking too. Like, what a weird concept that we're seeing. If you miss weight, beating the top ranked fighter could potentially, this could have been for a number 1 contender bout. The winner of this gets for the belt. But does Jennifer Maia get that shot at the belt then? And I don't think she should.
No,
I don't think she should.
If she just showed she can't make weight, so giving her a title shot, that's like a fight that may or may not happen, that Dana White has to worry about now.
Exactly. Because if she comes in overweight for that, then she's really going to be screwed. A lot of local talent. At least I think it was more of a Texas showcase, which was pretty good. Ray Borg comes back to beat Gabriel Silva. Good for Ray Borg, coming back from multiple brain surgeries.
Wow.
To actually get a win. I kind of had it pretty close. It was pretty close. Gabriel Silva kind of petered out in the second and the third, letting Ray Borg kind of work his wrestling, which was pretty good. Same with Maia versus Roxanne. It was very similar. It was very toe-to-toe. Maia getting the edge and doing a little bit more of the bullying of Roxanne, really. Klidson Abreu versus Sam Alvey was a good one. It was a bit controversial with Klidson going for a nut shot and then kind of swinging late after the bell. But that's really the ref's job to really step in there and stop. You don't stop until the ref tells you to stop, really. So Sam Alvey kind of protesting a little bit, but I think that got into his head a little bit, and he thought he won the fight, and he should have seen his look afterwards. He totally thought he had actually won the fight, and here the nod goes to Klidson Abreu, and Sam Alvey was not smiling after this match. But you can't leave in the judges' scorecard. Raquel Pennington gets back to her winning ways with a split decision over Irene Aldana. That was actually a tough matchup for either or. You know, I mean, I can see it's tough for any one of these women because for one of them to go up against Nunez, you know, where we saw Raquel basically almost get killed in the ring against Amanda Nunez before. And then Irene Aldana, she looked okay, but I think Raquel's conditioning and her wrestling kind of won her the match. Alex Caceres versus Steven Pedersen. Again, we see Steven Pedersen. I don't think this guy belongs in the UFC, to tell you the truth. Tough dude, a little bit gritty, but you know what I mean. He's just not getting it done. I don't think. Let's break it down here. Steven Pedersen, for a negative 6 degrees of separation. I know he is from Texas, Ocho Pedersen, because he's got the big Superman symbol for some weird reason. I don't know why he's Ocho. He's only 1-4 in the UFC, and only winning a split decision against Matt Bassett. Losing to Luis Pena, losing to Alex Caceres, and then losing to Brandon Davis too. So not the. It's weird that he's even in the UFC, to tell you the truth. With the talent out there right now, I don't see enough out of this guy. I see a very undersized 145-pound fighter. Everybody he comes up against, he's shorter than. And for Alex Caceres, who was normally a 135-pound fighter, for him to be taller than him, it was a tight scorecard, and he did put up a tough fight, but we're seeing him on the losing end of the stick again. So I think he's going to get his walking papers after this. Losing to Bruce Leroy, and once again, it was like all these decisions. It was rough to watch, Kelly. It was rough to watch. Andrei Arlovsky versus Ben Rothwell, though, was great. That was actually the really good decision, with the exception of the last 2.5 minutes of the third round, where both dudes had just beaten the fuck out of each other. Ben Rothwell's face was just beaten up. He was just so bloodied. Arlovsky had a great game plan. Really sticking with that stiff jab and kind of going with different angles. That was just tagging Ben Rothwell the whole time. Cut him open his mouth super bad. Ben Rothwell did purr on the jets in the last little bit, but it was too little too late. The one thing I will give Arlovsky credit for, Kelly, is in this one he ate a ton of pretty heavy shots at times too, and didn't even stagger from them. So he, you know what I mean, are we seeing, and unfortunately we see Arlovsky kind of get into it with a bit of a bad slur to say in this day and age, in the just in regards to people saying his chin is glass, his glass is chin, his chin is glass. He actually took some pretty big bombs in this one. You know what I mean? I would be careful what you say about that, though, Arlovsky. Not with the slur, but with just calling out people saying, hey, my chin's still totally fine, come and test it. I don't know about that. Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't be tempting anybody to rock your jaw. That's for damn sure. Getting the 2-time win over Ben Rothwell. One thing that he did that I thought was a little bit of a stupid move was he actually went for a flying knee and got smucked pretty hard in the face for his effort. You know what I mean? Arlovsky, I know.
Did you learn last time?
I know, that's what I'm saying. For a dude who should never throw a flying knee again in his life, Andrei Arlovsky is the top of the list.
I went for the flying knee and then I woke up.
Especially against the number one rule of flying knees, Kelly, is you don't throw them if the other dude's taller than you. And Ben Rothwell is quite taller than most people.
Yeah. Your head's not down far.
Yeah, exactly. Moving right along. I think he was going for the body, though, but still, either way, moving right along. Yeah. Alex Hernandez gets a win, another kind of a slow one against Francisco Trinaldi. It wasn't a bad fight. It wasn't great, though. And then we finally see a knockout with Dan Hooker KOing James Vick. First round, 2.5 minutes, basically. Great exchange between those dudes. I think James Vick has lost it. I think he's lost his killer instinct. I think he needs to see a fight psychologist, because he's not unloading. He's too worried about getting hit. And I think we've seen this with fighters before in the past. We kind of saw it with Roy McDonald a little bit there for a little while, but we're seeing it here with James Vick. 3 losses in a row, 2 by KO, and after that KO by Justin Gaethje, he's become a different fighter. And I think that's just what we're seeing. Let's break it down. 6 degrees of separation. James, the Texecutioner Vic. The guy went on one hell of. Oh, he got KO'd by Beneil Dariush too. Weird KO. But for a dude, he's had quite a good record up until that point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He was 9-1 in the UFC. That's a great number for 155. And beating up a lot of dudes, TKOing a few dudes, like Joseph Duffy, Abel Trujillo, Marco Polo Reyes. These aren't slouches. Jake Matthews, even Nick Hine, a lot of big names he's beaten in that division. But now he's KO'd by Justin Gaethje, loses a unanimous decision against Felder. Felder rocked him a few times too, and then getting really KO'd, posterized by Dan Hooker. And I saw it in this fight. He just not unloading. He's kind of backing up with his hands in a defensive position rather than trying to counterpunch. Not trying to punish a dude for coming in, and it's never been a good strategy since day one of combat sports, period. Really, and I think that's what we're seeing from James Vick. He's too afraid to get knocked out. His chin is fucked. He's got some kind of concussion-like symptoms going on. He does not want it again, but Dan Hooker put on one hell of a show. 2 super lanky dudes, Kelly, and these guys were tall. I think Dan Hooker's like 6'3" or some shit like that for 155. Like, he's ridiculously tall. Let's just take a look here. Dan Hooker. I know he was actually. I think he fought Nico Price. Was his recent fight that I saw him fight in? That was actually a really, really good one. Let's break down Dan Hooker too here. Yeah. Oh, Edson Barbosa. That's who it was. Yeah, that was a great fight. Dan the Hangman Hooker. KO of James Vick. He got TKO'd with that punch to the body from Edson Barbosa. Beats Gilbert Burns. Beat Jim Miller by a KO. Beat Mark Dacanese. And KO'd Ross Pearson too. He lost to Jason Knight though, weirdly enough. That's a weird loss. He lost to Yair Rodriguez. Beat Hatsuhioki. Lost to Maximo Blanco though. Weird. He's got some weird losses on his record for such a tall dude. He's only 6 foot. Sorry, he's only 6 foot tall, but still 6 foot for 155 is pretty fucking tall. Fighting out of Australia. And I'm excited to see Dan Hooker kind of goes through the rankings. So I think James Vick, was ranked 15th. Or no, he was ranked 15th. I think Dan Hooker's ranked 10th at 155. So we'll see what happens. Let's get to the heavyweights. And then we had a lot of commercials because the next 2 fights wasn't even a minute long. With Greg Hardy knocking out Juan Adams. You see the highlights from that one, Kelly?
I have not.
Yeah, it was kind of a TKO. Like, he kind of tagged him a little bit. They're standing up and they're trading decently enough. And but Greg Hardy kind of clipped him a little bit, and then Juan Adams goes for the takedown. And he's just going for the single leg, Kelly. And Greg Hardy just feeding him shots. It never really looked like he was ever, because he had that single leg, and his hands were still like kind of moving to get tighter and tried to go for the takedown. But his base. Greg Hardy's base was just far too strong, I think. I don't think that's what Adams was prepared for, because he's a football player, was prepared for that attacking base that Greg Hardy had, and the ref had no choice but to come in to stop it. But Juan Adams protested quite aggressively. That's the problem. He got pissed, and he got escorted out of the ring. Threw his mouthpiece into the crowd. He was mad. He was super, super mad. Thought it never was out, and he never was out. But obviously when the ref, I think he had a hard time hearing the ref. I think that's the problem. He had his one ear up against his thigh, and his other ear was getting pounded on like this. You know what I mean? So I think he had a hard time hearing the ref say, move or I'm going to stop it. Move or I'm going to stop it. And his hands never went limp, though. You know what I mean? But I think the ref has no choice but to stop it in that position. And I think that's what we saw here. Going on to win. I didn't see enough really out of Juan Adams to really give him a ranking or a grade on his performance, other than a bad one, because he didn't really bring it to Greg Hardy. There was a bit of hate between these dudes, and Greg Hardy came out the victor, and looked like the hero at the end of the day. Only the winners write history. That brings us to the co-main event of the evening. Walt Big Ticket Harris taking on Alexei, the Boa Constrictor Olenek. Good fight. And once again, 12 seconds. I think it's the fastest knockout in heavyweight history, I think. 12 seconds. He kind of goes went for a knee and kind of glanced off. He went for a flying knee and kind of glanced off Olenik's chest, but then followed up with one hell of a punch and knocks Olenek right down and followed up with some ground and pound, and he had nothing to do but have the refs come save his ass. Sad to see Alexi's old as shit. He's like 42, I think. Good to see him still fighting, but to have him in these positions like up against these up and comers is kind of a tough matchup. I think he's more of a undercard type dude. Especially he just got knocked out by. It's kind of weird that he's even co-headlining because he just got knocked out by Alistair Overeem, too. You know what I mean? So you're getting knocked out, and here we're going to give you another tough contest on Walt Harris, and he gets knocked out by him as well. That brings us to the main event of the evening. Leon Edwards taking on Rafael dos Anjos. It wasn't the best fight to watch, if I had to describe it, Kelly. Once again, it was another decision from the San Antone. I think maybe had a bit something to do with it. Leon Edwards was working a good game. I think he was I don't think Dos Anjos thought he was going to be so grapple heavy, and I think that's what the problem was with Dos Anjos' camp. I think he thought he worked on striking 100% of the game, and Leon Edwards went with a grapple and takedown heavy, where he scored a bunch of actually quite good takedowns. I think it was a size matchup. I think that's what Leon Edwards used to his advantage, and what we see time and time again with Dos Anjos having a hard time fitting in 170 and being too big for 155 is the size advantage he has to deal with on a daily basis in being the top 5 fighter at 170. I feel so sorry for Dos Anjos for that. Taking on the Usmans, taking on the Covingtons, taking on the Ben Askrens, and taking on a very tall dude in Leon Edwards. He was quite big compared to Rafael Dos Anjos. He didn't look bad, but he didn't look great in this matchup. I think Leon Edwards kept the pace on his level and kept on changing levels to when he wanted to, making the fight about him and not making his fight reactive to Rafael Dos Anjos, in turn making Rafael Dos Anjos react to what he was doing. And I think it was a great strategy by Leon Edwards, and he was doing some really good clinch work, Kelly, which I think what we saw recently in previous UFCs with the way what's the hell is his name, Blachowicz, Jan Blachowicz, in his recent fight, kind of working off the clinch. And, it works great. Is a great move to use in jiu-jitsu is to work off the scrambles. And similar effect, working off the clinch, throwing those looping punches off that second out of the clinch, catching the person off guard because their eyes can't react to that punch coming over their shoulder right on the chin. And I think we saw Leon Edwards really land one hell of a nasty elbow, cutting open Dos Anjos' eyebrow disgustingly. Like, it was gross, Kelly. Like a huge gaping cut right along his eyebrow. Like, it was a gaper. And I think that affected Dos Anjos a little bit. I think it hurt like a son of a bitch. I think that's the problem. Just because of the location of that cut, every punch was going to be right into that wound. There was no doubt about that wound was getting punch after punch after punch. And I think he just couldn't come back from that. And that's the same thing we're seeing about Dos Anjos, though. He's not getting beaten by these dudes. He's so tough. He's getting beaten by decision, but he's not getting finished by these dudes. Is how tough this guy is. He's on the cusp of that Hall of Fame for the Anu podcast, the Stephen Kelly Anu podcast. He's on the cusp of how tough and how much respect I have for this guy. All in all, great card, but I'd actually give it a C. With kind of just all the decisions, man, it was rough. The KOs helped, obviously, but I'm gonna give the card only a C, just because of that. We didn't really see much of what I wanted to on the undercard, and I wonder how we're going to. I wonder how it's going to play out for the people who did win for their future matchups. I got to say it's kind of silly for Leon Edwards to call out Jorge Masvidal. Where Jorge just kind of saying, I'm only getting a championship match. Save all your call-outs. All you bums, save your call-outs, because the only guy I'm fighting next is for the belt. So just save your breath. I'm not fighting these bums, trying to make you money. I'm making myself money. Decent card. Decent. What, that's about it then for the show, my man. Anything you want to talk about, Kelly? We got any ruckus in this beautiful weather we've been having?
No, I wish I had to do a long drive, so
On the Ruckus?
No,
I'm just joking.
no. That's easy car.
Yeah. That would have been too much, like going that far. Like it's gonna be like 500
speed,
kilometers.
Yeah, it would take so long. It'd take like 6 hours.
Yeah, exactly. It would take you a day, exactly.
No, that's about it.
Nice. Yeah, and then we just riding my bike around and moving people too. I had a busy day yesterday. I'm feeling it today though. I feel the burn. But it was all well worth it in the end. All right, buddy. Well then, for myself, Steven, and co-host and producer extraordinaire, you've been listening to the New Podcast. Signing off.